And welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zerotio.
What is up, gang? We're going to be talking neutrals today. I'm super excited. Yeah, let's do this.
Neutrals what? Neutrals of what?
Just neutrals.
Just neutrals and like my favorite neutral, Doomsayer. Man, I could talk that card all day.
Well, I was thinking more like a beige color or off-white.
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite neutral. Is like an off-white.
Guys, it has been a long week. I feel like this is the third time we've done this week.
It is.
It is. That's right. Because we did our card class reviews for Ashes of Outland. In episode 1, we covered 5 classes. In episode 2, we covered the other 5 classes, and those are available right now for Hero Power patrons.
Yep.
If you're not a patron and you're interested in hearing about our card class reviews, head on over to patreon.com/heropower. You can not only get access to those videos, but also our patron-only Discord where you can chat Hearthstone with us all the time. Go check it out, patreon.com/heropower.
Which we've been doing a lot of today because there's a lot of theory crafting going on in our patron-only Discord. Just to take a little aside, Howard, Dave, and Sergi and a few others are in there trying to get a really good placement on their ranked ladder in the new league system so that they're set for the new set that's coming out. So we'll talk more about the ladder system, but in a little bit in our feeling of it.
Let's talk about it now. We don't have any emails or iTunes reviews to go over, so let's just jump right into it.
So our new ranked ladder system started April 1st. It's the leagues that are bronze through diamond and then the legend. And you have 10 ranks each. It's 3 stars per rank. And you start out with bonus stars based on your previous season. So have you gotten in the ranked ladder and what did your bonus stars start at? Do you know?
So I finished last season at rank 14. So I got +6 stars when I started. So a win at bronze 10 took me to like bronze 9, and then a win there took me to bronze 7, and then a win there took me up to bronze 6. So I've been moving up relatively decently. I'm still getting 6 stars per win. I'm not losing any stars for a loss currently, still at where I am in bronze. So so far,
which to point out, what you're saying is in bronze league at all, you don't lose stars on a loss, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Just make sure our listeners that are new to the system, obviously, know that you don't lose anything in bronze. Yeah, you don't in bronze. Once you get into silver, you'll lose 1 star, but you still keep all your bonuses. And the bonuses depreciate by 1 star every 5 ranks. So at 5 and 10, once you get past those, your bonus stars depreciate, which is fine. So I finished up rank 1, just short of legend. I started with 10 bonus stars, which according to the formula that Blizzard put out, I should have started at 9, but they said that MMR is weighted more heavily. If you didn't play a lot of games or a lot of consistent games, then you might get an extra bonus star based on that. So I got bonus star like I was legend. Weird thing is, in Wild, I got to rank 13. My bonus stars was 10.
So it's still off your highest finish?
No, because other people were varied, and they got different bonus stars. I asked about this on Twitter, and it was clarified that it weighted, because I didn't have a lot of games, it weighted my MMR over my finished rank. And since I had a high win rate, which I think my win rate going from rank 25 to 13 was something like 80 82% when I looked at my stats.
Mm-hmm.
It treated me like I was a Legend player.
Okay, interesting. Now
I don't think that's going to go that way going forward necessarily because the league system's different, but it does. That means people that don't have a lot of time to play a lot of games, but have a good quality of games, maybe a high win rate, but don't get very high, are going to be rewarded for that quality of play. So I like this new system if that is the case.
Right. Now, Hearthstone community member and Coin Concede host Ridiculous Hat was actually asking about where you finished and how many stars you got on the ladder, because he is trying to see if there's any kind of correlation to where it is being, where you're being placed. So have you had a chance to look at that? Or I know you contributed to that poll.
I did. I have not seen the results of that poll. Did he release those?
I don't know. I just know he was asking that people go to his Twitter, and he has a link there to where he's collecting data from the community.
Okay. We'll probably hear that on the Coin Concede podcast.
Oh wait, here are the initial results. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
So people with multipliers of 11 finishing in Legend. Yeah, looks like all in Legend. Let's see, standard peak. Wow, there's a lot of data here, and we did not parse through it, so we'll have to parse through this data and get back to you with where people finished and how many stars they got and what this says about the new rank system.
Yeah, and also make sure to follow Ridiculous Hat on Twitter and follow Coin Concede. I'm sure he'll be discussing it in depth alongside probably Wicked Good, because I know he works side by side with Wicked Good to get a lot of this data parsed and presented out. So pay attention to those two individuals. We'll definitely see if we can find some commonality in these statistics and maybe report on it next week or in the future weeks. Again, we're only, 5 days into the new rank system, so there's probably still a lot of data left to go. Me, myself, I'm actually gotten all the way up to Diamond 5, so I'm no longer getting bonus stars and no longer getting win streaks. So this is, they're saying it's more equivalent to old rank 3 or 2.5, because in the old system, rank 5 to Legend was 25 stars. Now 5 to Legend, Diamond 5 to Legend is 15 stars.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to push for Legend.
And the crew over at Dad Legend have officially christened Diamond 5 as the new Dad Legend.
Oh, is it? Okay,
yes.
Because I know there's been some argument whether it should be Diamond 10 or Diamond 5.
Yeah, I saw on their
5.
Twitter. I saw on their Twitter that they posted Diamond 5 is the new Dad Legend. So
I think it should be Diamond 5 because that's where you stop getting win streaks. I think it should be where you stop getting win streaks.
Yep.
Obviously, bonus stars are going to vary based on your starting rank.
April 2nd, we are unofficially announcing Diamond 5 as the new Dad Legend rank in Play Hearthstone. Since the win streak stopped, we figure it's the closest comparison to the rank 5 floor. Happy climbing, and remember to always squelch.
Then I have definitely gotten Dad Legend, and I'm enjoying it. I might try to make a push before Tuesday, but honestly, even if I don't make Legend by Tuesday, the meta's going to switch so much. I'm still going to have a lot of fun. And if I finish Diamond 5, I'm satisfied with that. That's not going to bother me at all. To me, it's an accomplishment. It was a little bit of a grind to get there, but when you start out by getting a lot of wins, it's pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So overall, we feel like this new system is pretty solid, right?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think it's solid. I think it's solid. It's comfortable. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I am enjoying it thus far as well. We'll see how that continues to go. So that all happened on April 1st.
Yes.
So that was about 4 days ago. On April the 2nd, the Demon Hunter Prologue went live. So I just finished it last night. I know you finished it on the day of.
Oh yeah, I finished it within just a couple hours of it coming out.
So, initial thoughts of the Demon Hunter after having completed the prologue. Give them to me.
I think it's a very powerful class, and while a lot of initial strategies with decks or new archetypes tend to revolve around aggressive strategies, they excel at them very, very well. However, I do see various points that the Demon Hunter are weak and can be countered. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to see a huge surge of Demon Hunters come out, because obviously it's a new thing. Everyone wants to play with a new thing. And I think it's going to get very, very heavy with Demon Hunters. You're going to have a lot of people figure out how to counter those Demon Hunters. The people that don't have the patience to figure out a way to adjust their game plan and maybe use some more neutral cards
Demon Hunter ruined Hearthstone.
They're going to, dump and go somewhere else. But then you're going to get your diehard Demon Hunter players that are going to refine the class. And I think it's balanced. But you're going to have a period where it's going to seem extremely unbalanced. It's going to be overpowered, and then it'll seem underpowered because somebody figured out a counter, right. And then it'll eventually go up and down like a roller coaster and eventually settle in the middle. But I think it might take it a few weeks. There are two clear paths for Demon Hunter. There's the rush Zerg aggressive kind of style that uses your hero power a lot. And then there's the slower, kind of controlly big demon hunter. There's some. Anyways, I won't make the joke of what the deck is going to be called, but because it might be a little inappropriate. But when you're using big demons, for your strategy, that's the other spectrum. It kind of plays like a hand lock, and then I don't see a clear mid range. And maybe mid-range is where, if somebody can find that mid-range tempo-style Demon Hunter, that's the best deck. But right now I'm not seeing it clearly. It might need another set to do that. We'll just have to see.
Okay, awesome. I really enjoyed it. I thought the storytelling in the prologue was spot on. It was so much fun. You go through the 4 fights, you finish up, and then like you had said, you got to remember whose perspective is telling the story.
Yeah.
Because Illidan says, that's how it should have happened.
At the end, I'm like, wait a minute. We just won this fight. He didn't win this fight. And he's like, that's how it should have happened. And then it so it's like, okay, there we go.
Yeah. It was very good. Very well written. Very enjoyable. So kudos to Team 5 on that. They did a great job. Had a lot of fun with it. So if you haven't finished it, go knock it out. It's only 4 fights, and it unlocks the Demon Hunter class and all of the initiate cards for your collection to be able to start playing on Tuesday, April the 7th.
Yep. And that's our next point is Tuesday, April 7th is when the set comes out. Did you do a fireside to open your packs?
I did not, because I don't have any packs yet.
Right.
I did not pre-order this expansion because of the current situation. I know you got lucky and won a gift card from Mr. Kilbin himself.
Yes, I
did. But
that's the only way I was able to do it.
Right. And due to everything that's going on, and I'm not working as much as I had been working, so I decided to do the responsible adulting thing and not spend any extra money on this set. But I am going to buy, I do have about 200 gold or so. So I'll be able to buy 52 or 53 packs, and then I might have $20 I can throw at it to get a few more packs. I just didn't have the 80 to drop for the, or the 55 for that matter, for the pre-orders. But yeah, so I'll open probably 50 to 70 packs on Tuesday, and I'll probably record those.
I will definitely be opening packs because I have about, I think, close to 8,000 gold.
Oh, nice.
I'll definitely be opening packs because I opened my 90 pre-order packs, and I got 4 legendaries.
Out of 90 packs?
And even worse so is one of those legendaries. So you're guaranteed a legendary pack within your first 10 packs, right?
You're guaranteed a legendary within your first 10 packs. That is correct.
My 10th pack is when I got my first legendary, and I actually got 2 legendaries. So I was like, cool.
Okay.
Sure, it was the 10th pack, but it gave me 2, so it's like getting 1 on 5 and 1 on 10. I'm happy with that. Well, I opened the remaining 80 packs and got 2 more legendaries.
Wow.
I think
so
it's the worst.
One legendary every 40 packs in the remaining 80.
I mean, by average, yes.
Right.
Once I hit the pit, one time I have to go back and check the data, but I'm almost positive I hit the 40-pack pity timer, or was like at 37 or 38. And then the other one I got kind of early, and then I didn't open another one for the last 30 packs. So I'm 10 packs away from my next pity timer.
Okay.
So that's a positive that I will at least in the first 10 packs. But if my luck continues, this is going to be a rough set.
Yeah.
I do have, I think, around 10,800 gold, 10,800 dust.
Okay, so that's good.
So I will be crafting some legendaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited for this set. I'm looking forward to busting open some packs on Tuesday and seeing what I get, what I can craft. I've got like 6,000 dust or something like that. So you know, I'll be able to craft a few legendaries and
I'm excited. The bad news is I'm laid off of work because the state did a mandatory shutdown and I'm not essential.
Yeah.
The good news is I'm laid off of work and I can play Hearthstone all week and draw. I'll be drawing unemployment, which isn't much, but at least I have. If this had,
at least I have chicken.
If this had to happen, it happened at the right time.
There you go. That's what I told my wife.
Lining.
That's what I told my wife. My wife had surgery back on March 4th, and I'm like, look, if you had to have surgery, this was the time to do it because you can't go out and do anything.
Yeah, this is the time to do it. I know she doesn't like she's laid up, but you know she's laid up. So
yeah,
that's right now that with all the mandatory. The state of Tennessee took a long time to enact a mandatory shelter at home, but they finally, I think it was in effect midnight last night is when it took effect.
Yeah.
So yesterday, a lot of people were out scrambling, getting their last minute running done. That's non-essential running.
Yeah.
Because they were doing the mandatory shutdown. Stay at home was starting at midnight last night. So this is a good time to be at home and have to sit and play Hearthstone.
Games to play.
Yep.
So. All right, this week's Tavern Brawl is Brawl of Champions Grand Finals. It all ends here. Which champion shall stand victorious? Choose a troll champion, and you'll get the strongest shrine yet. So, have you had a chance to do this Tavern Brawl yet?
Yes and no.
Yes, you've had a chance. No, you haven't done it.
Yes, I have had a chance. I picked Paladin. I started the game. I picked my mulligan, and my opponent conceded.
Oh, congratulations!
And so I was like, I don't have to do it.
I have not done it yet. I'll probably do it tonight.
I got my win, but I didn't play it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. Well, that brings us to this week's, where we would normally be playing and going over a deck list. This week, we are actually going to spend that time, as we said, talking about the Ashes of Outland neutral cards, because we have already done all 10 of the class cards in our review. Yep. Like we said at the top of the show, those are available for our patrons over at patreon.com/heropower. If you're interested, go over, check that out, and join us in the conversations.
And before we get started,
Discord.
Before we get started, I do want to reach out and let people know that obviously we're not doing a play portion this week. So all our video listeners, this is, you'll be able to see the review of a neutral set. But we will be doing a play portion next week. So yes. if you are a patron and you have a deck that really stands out for you, no matter what class it is, put it in our patron-only decks and make sure to tag us to let us know that this is a deck you'd like us to look at for the show.
Yep.
Furthermore, if you're not a patron and want to be, go over to patreon.com/heropower and join our Discord community. Or you can go ahead and tweet at us at heropower_cast. And send us your deck list with the deck codes, and we'll consider them for the show. We obviously are going to do a different deck every week, so we're probably going to play Demon Hunter next week, but we don't know yet. We'll just see how well the Demon Hunter fleshes out. I think
if there is a clearly prevalent deck that hard counters Demon Hunter within the first week, we might play that deck.
If not, it's probably going to be Demon Hunter.
Otherwise, we'll probably... I think everybody kind of wants to see how Demon Hunter runs and works, and so we'll probably play that. But we're keeping our options open. So
yeah, I obviously will have lots of time to figure out what we're going to play. And so will you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. With that said, let's jump right into this Ashes of Outland neutral card review. So, first up is the one that we have all seen. It's the neutral legendaries, including Kel'Thas Sunstrider. So, Kel'Thas was given to everybody who logged in to the game. He's a 6 mana, 4/7. Every third spell you cast each turn costs 0. Now,
yes.
I personally have not had a chance to play with this card, but Trollden did a video on YouTube about the shenanigans ensuing with this card, and it's absolutely hilarious.
So right now there's only really one front runner, and it's Mage, and it's not very good. It's kind of probably, I would consider it maybe tier 3, possibly top of tier 4. Obviously setting up for multiple small spells or free spells, and Pyroblast to your opponent's face. It's just not fleshed out enough. Also, I think Kel'Thas is supposed to be strong once the new set comes out. While there's not a lot of really big spells that are super impactful, there are some that are good. And I think he is not going to be like a combo finisher card, but more of like a combo sustain card where you do this big set of spells and effects to kind of set your board up really good to win the next turn. However, Demon Hunter has a spell. It's an 8 mana, give your hero 8 attack that, with their cheap and 0 cost spells, might be an OTK combo that's a possibility.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see, and that is a basic card. So we talked about that in our Demon Hunter review. That the implications of that with things like Kel'Thas and Zephrys. So I think Kel'Thas is going to shine once the new set cards become playable. Kind of like, the card's blanking on me now. The 2/6 that casts spells that you played. I don't know.
Yeah. Archmage.
Vargoth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Archmage Vargoth was kind of strong when it was first given to us, but then when the set cards came out, it became very, very predominant and almost overpowered. I think we're going to see the same thing with Kel'Thas.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We have Magtheridon, who is a 4-mana 12/12.
Wow.
Can I just stop there? Do I need to continue? I guess I do. So he starts dormant, as a lot of the demons in this set are prone to do. And then he also has a battle cry of summon 3/1/3 enemy warders. So you play this for 4. He's dormant, and he summons 3/1/3 enemy, 3/1/3 minions for your enemy.
Yes.
When those 1/3 enemies die, you destroy all minions on the board and awaken Magtheridon.
Yes.
So, my first initial thought, as soon as I read this card, was, holy crap, turn 4 Magtheridon, turn 5 Hellfire in Warlock.
Yeah.
Go to town.
Yeah, the problem with that is that's a full turn. Again, if you're playing against an aggressive lineup, which I found out in the theory crafting, that sure, turn 4, you're not really doing anything, and you're giving your opponent 3 damage, and then they can rush your face, and then you're going to do 3 more damage to your face. Yeah. You might be too low for the 12/12 to even save you at this point. It's not like it has taunt or anything. Also, there's a few things to note. If any of the enemy warders get polymorphed or bounced in any way, all 3 have to die. Mm-hmm. So then he won't ever wake up. Also, if your opponent doesn't have board space for all 3, when they die, he will not awaken. So if he has 5 minions on the board and you summon 2 1/3 warders, well, he's never going to awaken because 3 1/3 warders have to die.
Gotcha.
So there are a lot of loopholes to fill to make this card work. Obviously, summoning him randomly, he's just a dormant minion that never wakes up.
Right.
Just like the darkness, making the 4 slot even. I mean, we were thinking with darkness, when darkness went away, great, 4 slot's good to Witchy Lucky into. Well, now it's bad again. Yeah. I don't think he's good. I do think he will make some Trolldom videos. But yeah, I don't think he's good, unfortunately.
Okay. The other neutral legendary on this slide is Alar. So it's a 5-mana 7/3 elemental with Death Rattle. Summon a 0/3 Ashes of Alar that resurrects this minion on your next turn.
Yeah. Again, I don't think it's very good. I do think it might be some decent cards you might see if you get off a Evolve effect or Witchy Lackey. But other than that, I don't think it's playable because the 3 health is so easy to deal with, both on Alar and Ashes of Alar. It's because the Ashes of Alar isn't a Death Rattle. So you kill this, it makes a 0/3. All they have to do is kill that, and you don't get an Alar back. Mm-hmm. Because it activates at the beginning of your turn.
Right.
Now, if there were more tools to, duplicate Death Rattles, there are a couple tools in some of the classes to mess with that. Maybe this card is playable, but I don't think it's that good.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Next up, we have Maiev Shadow Song. She's a 4-mana 4/3 battle cry. Choose a minion. It goes dormant for 2 turns.
This is probably the most versatile card in the set. You can target your enemy minions to get rid of a taunt or not activate a death rattle during that time. You can put it on one of your own minions to, protect it from board clears, or to reactivate their dormant abilities. If you put this on an Antane, is it what's Antane? Is that Demon Hunter?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
You put this on an Antane, when it wakes back up after 2 turns, it does its dormant effect again. So it can reactivate those imprisoned minions. I just think it's good. If you're wanting this, you could also put a big minion on the board and then have it go dormant to set up for a lethal in a future turn. There's lots of really good possibilities with this card. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I do too. I think this card's gonna see a lot of play. There's usually always a neutral legendary that gets crafted out of every set, and I believe Maiev is that card in this set.
I agree.
Next up, we have Terran Gorefiend. So anybody that's familiar with World of Warcraft lore knows who Terran Gorefiend is. In Hearthstone, he's a 3-mana 3/4 with a battle cry, destroy all friendly minions, and then a death rattle, resummon them with +1/+1. So this seems a risky play unless you have some way to remove him the same turn you play him, don't you think?
Maybe not. So when I saw this card, I have a hard and fast rule. I only ever craft one neutral legendary at the beginning of a set. And I was torn between Maiev and Terran Gorefiend. Well, I opened one of my few legendaries I got. I opened a Terran Gorefiend. The thing about Terran Gorefiend that I like is if you want to play a death rattle centric deck, he doesn't make your minions dormant and then they come back or just remove them. He destroys them. So their death rattles will go off. So you have your minions with death rattle, you play him, it destroys them, their death rattles go off, you get whatever benefit effects from that, and then now your opponent has to worry about using a board clear, because if they clear Terran and silence effects are not very predominant right now with the Spellbreaker being sent to Hall of Fame, Terran Gorefiend is a threat, because not only when he dies will he resummon those minions, if they're death rattle minions, they also will get their death rattle go off again, plus their big minions. I also would put this in an aggressive strategy. If you're playing a lot of aggressive minions like Murlocs, and you think, they're going to have their board clear pretty soon, well, then you play Terran, destroying them all, and then they either have to find a way to neutralize your Terran or bounce it or not silence it, or if they destroy it, all those minions are coming back.
Polymorph it, or yeah. I mean, there's tons of ways they can get rid of it, and you don't get the resummon effect.
I don't agree that there's tons of ways. I think there's
the same amount of ways to get rid of Terran as there is to get rid of the O3 Ashes of Alareg. It's the exact same thing.
The O3 Ashes of Alareg can be done with just damage.
Okay.
You kill the Alar, it makes the O3, and then you just kill it with damage.
Okay.
So it's not the same. Now, if the Ashes of Alar was a death rattle, then yes, it would be a lot stronger. But this is a death rattle, and silence right now. The only neutral silence is Hoot Hoot, is Ironbeak Owl.
Mm-hmm.
You have polymorphs in form of Hex for shamans and
polymorphs for mages.
Polymorph for mages. You have silences predominantly in priest, and then that's about it. I think Demon Hunter had a silent spell also, but other than that, that means more than half your classes can't regularly deal with this.
So every deck needs to be 29 cards and an Iron Beak Owl?
If Terran Gorfine becomes very predominant, yes, I would put him in an aggressive deck.
Okay. All right.
Think about him in Treant, aggressive Treant Druid. You get a bunch of Treants on the board,
destroy them, and then bring them all back.
Well, you put the forest, Soul of the Forest on them all, and then play Terran, killing them and making 2/2s, and then if they use a board clear, all those minions come back again.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think he's very good in the right strategies. I just think, there we go.
Okay.
I think he's a good card.
All right. Moving on to the neutral epics. First up, we have the Waste Warden. It's a 5-mana, 3/3 battle cry. Deal 3 damage to a minion, and all others of the same minion type.
Yes.
Yeah, where was this when mech was everywhere?
Now, also remember that it says deal 3 damage to a minion, not an enemy minion.
That's correct.
So you could run this with the Amalgam and play the Amalgam and do 3 damage to your own Amalgam, and it will do 3 damage to all minion types.
Yeah.
If it has a minion type, it'll do 3 damage to it.
Wow.
That's a little. I mean, I don't know.
That's a little out there, but yeah,
kind of a bad play. But I mean, that's a possibility. Also, if Totem decks become synergistic, or Murloc decks become what we think they are, or demons, all those small demons from Demon Hunter, this could be a full board clear.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't think he's overpowered, but I think if you're playing a mid-range to control style, you just put him in there.
Okay.
If nothing else, he's 3 damage.
So do you feel like it's a balanced card at 5 mana for a 3/3 with that ability?
Well, it's 5 mana for a 3/3 that does 3 damage to a minion. Because if it doesn't have a minion type, you can still do 3 damage to it. It doesn't have to have a minion type. It just won't do additional damage.
Right.
So 5 mana for a 3/3 that does 3 damage to a minion, I think is balanced.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have the Replicat Otron. It's a 4-mana, 3/3 mech. At the end of your turn, transform a neighbor into a copy of this card.
So this card is it's not good to put in a deck.
I was saying, it seems kind of silly.
This card alone, along with the Magtheridon, is a reason not to evolve a 3-cost minion.
Okay.
Because if you evolve a 3-cost minion into this, it could turn your other minions into this, and they might be higher costed.
Yeah, and then 1 becomes this, then 2 becomes this, then 3, and it just spreads, because your opponent's not going to kill it.
I mean, the 3/3s on the board is tough. I mean, I don't know. You could put it in a shaman deck just because you're going to activate, or even a paladin deck, because you're going to pay 2 mana for your hero power, play this next to it, and now you have 2 3/3s instead of a 3/3 and a 1/1 or a 3/3 and an 0/2 totem. So maybe if it goes in those decks, I just don't see why. I mean, there's not enough. Magnetic's gone. There's not enough mech synergies. The Waste Warden will just kill them both anyways.
Yeah,
the Waste Warden is an exact counter to Replicatortron.
Yeah, that's true. All right, and then we have the Moarg Artificer. It's a 2-mana, 2/4 demon. All minions take double damage from spells.
So people are really, polarized on this card.
I mean, I could see this being really good in, a shaman deck where they're playing Lightning Storm or something.
And that's what people that are giving high ratings to this are saying. They're like, it makes my cheap board clears like, you know, Arcane Explosion and things
Yeah.
like that a lot more effective.
More valuable.
However, if I play this on 2, my opponent can just backstab it. Because he also takes double damage from spells.
Ah, very good. That is a good point.
So your opponent also gets this benefit against him. And it's all spells, not from your spells.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It against a spell-based deck, which it looks like Mage and Druid, while Druid's not going to be damage-based spells, but Mage is going to be heavily spell-based. Against decks like that, this is bad to have in your deck. But if those decks aren't very good in the meta and you're not seeing them and you're seeing mainly strategies using minions, then maybe this is good and you use your spells. So it really is meta dependent. And I think that's why it's so polarizing. The people that are giving a high rating don't think a lot of your opponents are going to have spell-based damage, where a lot of your people giving a low rating, like me, believe that spell-based damage will be a premium right now. And Rogue has always been good, and everybody puts backstab in their Rogue decks.
That's true.
It's an automatic.
That's true.
And so, and that's a free way to kill this. They could even get a benefit from it by playing another spell and then backstabbing this last. Yeah, I think it's bad.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Wow, just 3 neutral epics in this?
Yeah. I told you.
I expected another slot of epics. Okay.
And you're going to be surprised with rare, because this is the only slide for rare.
Okay, so
there's only 3 rare neutrals.
First up, we have the Infectious Sporling. It's a 1-mana 1/2. After this damages a minion, turn it into an Infectious Sporling.
Yes, so a lot of people are saying, well, this is great. I'll be honest. If it had Rush, it might be better.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people are like, oh, you play this on 1, and then no matter what your opponent plays on 2, you can turn into Infectious Sporling. And then like, yes. But then whatever you play on 3, they can turn yours into an Infectious Sporling because it goes the other direction as well.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, it definitely can produce some shenanigans. I really wish it had Rush. And I think if this card had Rush, it might have some implications of being a good card. But it doesn't, so it's bad.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Blistering Rot. It's a 3-mana 1/2. At the end of your turn, summon a Rot with stats equal to this minion.
Yeah, and I haven't seen clarification on this.
This reminds me of the Splitting Ooze that we got.
The Ooze, yeah. The thing is I think it just has the stats. I don't think it has the same text. Because it doesn't split into another Blistering Rot with this. It's just
summons another one.
So if you play this and then buff it up to like 4 or 5, it will summon another 4 or 5 Rot, but that Rot won't also split.
That is correct.
At the end of your next turn.
That's the way I understand it. Yeah.
I think in the right strategies, this could be good in buff style decks. It's just helping you go wide even more. And it has stats on it. I'd have to play with it to maybe up the rating I'm giving it on the spreadsheet, but I gave it a 2 because I think it can be good in the right deck, maybe in a token based deck where you really don't care about the stats too much. You just want to go wide.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in a token based Druid or something. Again, that token based Druid looks like it might be a spell only Druid, so I don't know if that fits there, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah. And then I guess the last neutral rare we're getting is the Scrapyard Colossus. So it's a 10 mana, 7/7 elemental with taunt, death rattle, summon a 7/7 Fellcracked Colossus with taunt. Now, one of the things we talked about quite a bit in our class review, especially in Shaman, is cards that still have the evolve capabilities. And I guess what you would call the evolve package being available. This feels like it was made specifically to be evolved into.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a high roll. It's definitely a high roll in the 10 mana slot. And there's a lot of bad 10 drops to Witchy, Lackey, or evolve into. However, I don't think this card is bad to put in a deck. The problem with 10 drops is you're not developing any way to... If you're behind, it doesn't help you get back ahead. And even if it has taunt, it's just one minion with taunt that they can usually find a way to clear. This is 2 minions with taunt. So I really don't hate putting this in a deck. Because you're getting 14 of 14 worth of stats over the course of 2 minions, meaning they're going to have to clear it twice. I like it. I think I gave it a 3 because I think if you're dealing with a control style deck, you just put this in your deck as a late game way to just have a big dude in the way.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Okay. All right, moving on to the neutral commons. First up, we have Guardian Og Merchant. It's a 1 mana 2/1 battle cry. Deal 1 damage to a minion and give it Divine Shield.
Yeah, so these Og Merchants, there's 3 of them. We're going to talk about all 3 in this first slide. They're kind of like a sub-tribe of minions. They all pretty much do the same thing. They have the same stats.
Well, let's just talk about all 3 of them at the same time.
Yeah.
You have the Ethereal Og Merchant. Same thing. 1 mana 2/1. Battle cry. Deal 1 damage to a minion and give it spell damage +1. And then you have Rocket Og Merchant. 1 mana 2/1. Battle cry. Deal 1 damage to a minion. Give it Rush. So 3 different abilities for 3 different merchants. What do you think here, Zerotio? What are your thoughts on how these cards might be utilized?
So the Ethereal Og Merchant I really didn't like because giving minions spell damage just hasn't worked in the past. And I don't think it works here. So I gave this the lowest rating. The Rocket Og Merchant is like the Goblin Lackey, except for doing the 1 damage, it has 1 extra attack, and it doesn't give attack to a minion. It gives a minion rush. You might have a Death Rattle minion you want to die, so you play it. You do 1 damage to it, which is going to make it more likely to die, and then you give it rush so it can clear something. So I think it's a very good, solid Og Merchant. And the Guardian Og Merchant does 1 damage to give a minion Divine Shield. Basically, it's kind of an even trade-off because a Divine Shield is worth at least 1 damage because that's the least amount of damage it will stop. But it could stop more damage. So I like this. I like these Og Merchants. I think they play really well. Each one, depending on your deck, could probably fit in as a good, solid 1-drop, being a 2/1. And if there's no other minions on 1, it's just a 1 mana 2/1, which is not bad. Yeah. So I would say the Guardian Og Merchant's my favorite. The Ethereal's my least favorite, and then the Rocket Og Merchant is probably in the middle. Okay. But they give me like a Lackey vibe.
Yeah. Could we see more Og Merchants printed in the next couple sets this year?
I would love to see more Og Merchants, and then maybe a legendary that discovers Og Merchants.
Okay. All right.
That would be cool for Year of the Phoenix.
Yeah. So next up, we have the Rust-Sworn Cultist. Rust-Sworn Cultist.
Yes.
It's a 4-mana 3/3 battle cry. Give your other minions death rattle. Summon a 1/1 demon.
Yeah. So this is like the old spell that your minions give your minions death rattle. Summon a 1/1 Murloc.
Yeah.
From Shaman.
So do you think this would have a home as like a mid-range card in like a zoo deck?
Yeah, or a token-based strategy like Token Druid, maybe. If they don't just go all spell-based.
Mm-hmm.
You could put this in there where you throw out a bunch of small minions, maybe minions that were generated off other minions previously and are 1 cost, and then you play a few of those 1-cost minions and throw down the Rust-Sworn Cultist, which is, a 3/3 body in its own right. And now you have sustain for board clears. If they clear your board, you have a bunch of 1/1s to then Savage Roar or buff in some way. Yeah, it's a good card. I like it.
Yep. All right, next up we have the Soulbound Ash Tongue. It's a 1-mana 1/4. Whenever this minion takes damage, also deal that amount of damage to your hero.
It's bad.
There's another minion that has this ability.
Yeah, it was a 2-mana 3/4 demon for Warlock.
Yeah.
But this is a neutral card. I mean, it's a 1-mana 1/4, which is good stats, but I would worry so bad that they would put out a very big rush minion, and that rush minion all of a sudden is doing face damage.
Right.
However, I think this card is, while it's not going to be very playable in Standard, I think it's going to be playable in a Treachery Warlock in Wild. Okay. Because the 1 less mana than the other minion that use that Treachery shenanigans will give you 1 more mana towards additional combos to do additional damage to this. So I think in Wild you might see some shenanigans happen with Treachery Warlock in this card.
Okay. And then last on this slide, we have the Rust-Sworn Initiate. It's a 2-mana 2/2 with Death Rattle. Summon a 1/1 Imp Caster with spell damage +1.
Yeah,
so I don't think 2-mana 2/2 is not terrible. Summons a 1/1 with spell damage.
I think the spell damage is inconsequential. I don't think it really even matters. It summons a 1/1 minion and might be good in a token-based strategy.
I don't know. This feels more like an arena card to me.
Oh, it's definitely an arena card because anything that creates another minion. I just think there's better minions that create other minions to use in Standard at the 2-drop slot that this one won't get play in Standard.
Okay. Moving on, we have the Frozen Shadow Weaver. It's a 3-mana 4/3 battle cry, freeze an enemy. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, yeah.
Great stats, stall. I think this goes in most mid-range decks. Maybe even aggressive decks.
Okay.
Because you can freeze the face with this. This isn't freeze an enemy minion. So if you trade your minions off the other minions and freeze your enemy's face against something like a rogue or a Galakron warrior, then you're keeping them from having that last bit of burst damage they might need. I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad. Next up, we have the Terror Guard Escapee. Is a 3-mana 3/7 battle cry. Summon 3 1/1 Huntresses for your opponent. So this guy kind of reminds me of the Warrior minion that was the 2/6 with taunt that summoned 3 1/1 Raptors.
Cornered Sentry.
Yes, that's it.
So instead of taunt, you get an extra 1+1+1.
1+1 health, and attack, +1+1.
So, I mean, in a deck that runs any kind of whirlwind style effect or risky skipper. I think you play this, it does the battle cry, and then the risky skipper activates, so it would kill it, kill the 1/1. So in decks like that also might use battle rage to draw more cards, this is good. I don't think it's obviously not good enough to put in every deck, but I think it's a solid inclusion in decks that have that kind of synergy with doing damage. Plus, remember, this waters down the res pool versus priest.
Yes, it does.
That's important to note because it does it does give you 3 other minions for your opponent you can kill off, and then they may not resurrect their key minions.
Yep. All right. Moving on, we have the Burrowing Scorpid. It's a 4-mana 5/2 beast. Battle cry, deal 2 damage. If that kills the target, gain stealth. So 4 mana, 5/2, deal 2 damage to a target. That by itself is pretty good.
I gave this a 1 because I didn't see the applications. And Regis Kilbin in his theory crafting stream and discussing it in his card reviews might have me convinced it's a better card, because there were lots of situations where this got to keep stealth, and then you have a 5/2 your opponent can't deal with easily that is guaranteed to attack the next turn. And then maybe you could do some. I've got a deck I want to build, and I'm looking for the right cards, and this might be one of them. And it is using Blessed Champion in Paladin.
Okay.
And so I think there are a lot of minions that can stay on the board long enough, and this is one of them. You could even kill off one of your own hero-powered Silverhand recruits to make sure this has stealth. And it stays on the board, and you Blessed Champion it twice on turn 10, and boom, you have 20 damage to face. So there are some shenanigans that maybe pull with this deck. I might go up on my rating before Tuesday. I really think I will. But I'm really torn. I'm split on this card. There's times I think it's going to be awesome. There's times I just don't think it's good.
Okay.
The two body is what makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But if it's stealth, that 2 body is kind of inconsequential.
Okay. Moving on, we have the Disguised Wanderer. He's a 4-mana 3/3 Death Rattle. Summon a 9/1 Inquisitor. Now, I just want to point out, this guy looks like he just rolled right out of Diablo.
So I wanted this to say summon a 9/1 Super Rager. Because that's what it is. It's a Super Rager.
Yeah.
They haven't printed any new Ragers in a long time, and it makes me sad. He's not a good card, but if you get him off of a Witchy Lackey effect, he's tough to deal with. And maybe in a token-based strategy, he can be good. Maybe in a token druid or a zoo deck, because if they clear the board, they have to deal with a 9/1. Now, is a 9/1 easy to deal with? Yes, it is. But if they can't deal with it, that's 9 damage. And 4 mana for a 3/3 isn't a terrible body.
Mm-hmm.
I would play 4 mana 3/3 Death Rattle summon a 1/1. Why wouldn't I play 4 mana 3/3 Death Rattle summon a 9/1?
Right.
And a lot of people were really down on this, saying, "Oh, it's a terrible card because it only summons a 9/1." But if it summoned a 1/1, I'd play it.
Yeah.
So maybe it can be good. I might mess with this card.
Okay.
I did open a golden one.
This can be your For Science card in the neutral set.
Yeah, I did open a golden Disguised Wanderer. So, and the animation's kind of cool. It's like chest is glowing and stuff. It's pretty neat. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have the Felfin Navigator. It's a 4-mana, 4/4 Murloc. That's a big boy.
Yeah.
Battle Cry, give your other Murlocs +1/+1. Neutral Murlocs.
Yes.
All of them.
This is what Murloc decks needed, regardless of the class. This is what we needed. We needed something that gave both aggressive and defensive strategies. Back when Murloc War Leader was gave +2/+1, it was super strong. When they nerfed it down to just +2, it's not that strong anymore. This is also the card they added to Battlegrounds and has made Murloc strategies a little more viable. I like this card a lot. I think Murloc decks are going to come back out. Everybody's going to hate them. Then they're going to play that neutral card that will pretty much kill all your Murlocs. But the fact that this gives it +1/+1 might put it out of that 3 damage range for that card, which is why it's very important for Murloc decks. I like it. I gave it a 4 on a spreadsheet. I think any deck that's playing Murlocs has to play this card.
Yeah, I agree. This card's very good. Next up, you have Dragon Maw Skystalker. It's a 6-mana, 5/6 dragon. Death Rattle. Summon a 3/4 Dragon Rider. I like the flavor of the card. You kill the dragon, now you gotta fight the Dragon Rider.
Yeah, and this is good in dragon decks because while it is six mana, it's an activator for your dragon effects.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a big giant 8, 9, or 10 cost dragon. It's a nice mid range. You can use your Fire Tree Witch Doctors and all your low cost dragon synergy cards. And then when you get to turn 6, you drop down a 5/6 that has a Death Rattle to summon another minion. So it has good board pressure. I think 6 mana for a 5/6 is decent if it has a good enough Death Rattle, and this one does. I think it's an auto include in a lot of mid range strategy decks, and it's definitely an inclusion in every dragon based deck.
Yeah. All right. Moving along, we only have a couple left. Scavenging Shivara. It's a 6-mana, 6/3 demon. Battle Cry. Deals 6 damage, randomly split among all other minions.
Yeah, now that's all other minions, including your own, but at the 6 drop, turn 6 mana cost, you're likely not going to have much of a board, and you're going to be fighting back for the board. The fact that it's a 6/3 body, though, makes it... They're just going to take the board right back. So I'm not convinced it's a good card. But I don't think it's not a 1. It's not terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Then we've got the Bone Chewer Vanguard. It's a 7-mana, 4/10 taunt. Whenever this minion takes damage, gain +2 attack. So as it takes damage, it deals more damage. But at 7 mana for a 4/10 taunt, seems like it's a little on the expensive side.
It is. I think you might hate seeing this when your opponent Witchy Lackey's a 6-drop. Because the 7 cost slot is pretty bad right now. And this kind of makes it a little better, specifically because it's a taunt. And you have to deal with it in one turn, or it's going to come back at you hard. Mm-hmm. I think if it was 6 mana, I would probably play it in Priest. With other cards, I could play with it to make sure I keep it alive, boost up the health, keep damaging it, boost up the health, heal, and eventually get a snowbally lethal. However, at 7 mana, there's just not enough room to do anything else on the turn, even if it was turn 10. So for that reason, I don't think it's good. I think if it was 1 mana less, it would be a good card.
Okay. All right. Then we've got the Rust Steed Raider. It's a 5-mana, 1/8 taunt rush. Battle Cry, gain +4 attack this turn. So this is the turn it comes into play, it's a 5-mana 5/8 taunt rush.
Yeah, it's good.
Next turn, it's just a 1/8.
Yeah,
or a 1 whatever after it takes damage.
But it's a taunt.
Right.
That's the important part. They're not going to be able to come back and get you in the face or clear another minion or anything like that. It's gonna do its job that turn of clearing and then be a wall in the way. Yeah, I think it's good against aggressive strategies. This is a nightmare because if they're playing a lot of 1 health minions just swarming the board, then they're probably going to have to put 2 or 3 more minions in it to come back at you.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have the Bone Chewer Brawler. He's a 2-mana 2/3 taunt. Whenever this minion takes damage, gain +2 attack. I like it. It's solid.
I don't know.
It's a 2-mana 2/3 taunt. Early in the game, this is going to slow down those zoos that are trying to just run you over, or pirates. I just got stomped on turn 4-5 by Pirate Warrior.
Yeah, but it's only a 2/3 taunt, and yeah, it gets more attack, but you're not
on turn 2. Your average going to have to run 2 minions into it to clear it.
Yeah, I just, other than in Priest, I think it was like a 2/4 taunt, it'd be good. But a 2/3 taunt, I just think it's too easy.
I still think you're going to have to run at least 2 minions into it to clear it. Or
3 damage
or your face in a minion.
3 and 4 damage is a huge break point right now. 3 damage can easily be done by Warrior with Galakron. Any activator, he Galakron face hit this and only take 2 damage.
Yeah.
If it was 4 damage, then there's some thinking he has to do with that. I just think at 2/3, it's just not good.
Okay. And then you got the Overconfident Orc. It's a 3-mana 1/6 taunt. While at full health, it has +2 attack. So this comes into play as a 3-mana 3/6.
This is a good one.
Okay.
I like this a lot because this makes them think. I have to put something into it first that's likely going to die, just so I can have this attack go down to 1 and maybe put less stuff into it. So it makes your opponent think how they're doing their trades, and they might have to trade suboptimally to save more of their board. Where they could easily send a 4/3 into it to do a lot of damage first, they'll have to send something smaller in so that the 4/3 doesn't die. Or maybe the 4/3 could normally go face, and now they can't go face because they have to use the 4/3 and kill it to get rid of it. So I like this card in a mid-range where you're trying to stop that early aggression. And not only stop it, but remove it. Because most turn 2 or turn 3 minions that are going to have to run into this will likely die on that first swing.
Yeah. All right. And the last slot of the neutral Ashes of Outland cards, we have Supreme Abyssal. It's an 8-mana 12/12 that can't attack heroes. Do you feel like this is just there to water down the 8-mana evolve pool?
This is a bad card. But, like I said, I have a theory I'm trying to break through of possibly finding a way to silence this and Blessed Champion it. Also, there are ways to make minions attack suboptimally that might be able to get to go face. I think this could create some kind of meme deck. I don't think it's good. Obviously, your opponents could say, hey, your opponents, when they see this, if they're worried about their board being cleared, they're going to want to have to deal with it. But if they're like, oh, he can't hit me in the face, I'll just leave it alive, then you may be able to do something like give it taunt or something. This with a Sun Fury Protector, it makes it a 12/12 taunt, and its sole purpose is just to clear the board, which you play at 8 mana. In Warrior, you play the new Deathwing,
who's an 8-mana 12/12,
which is you use it just a board clear.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you use this just a board clear as a neutral card? So I think it's bad, but I think there are applications where it can be good in a control style or a combo style deck.
Yeah. And then last but not least, as we talked about in our patron-only class card reviews, every class got an imprisoned demon of some sort. Neutral is no different. They get the imprisoned Vile Fiend. It's a 2-mana 3/5. It's dormant for 2 turns, and then it comes into play with Rush. So, turn 4, if you play it on curve, it's a turn 4 3/5 Rush. Not the worst of the imprisoned, but definitely probably sub between middle and bottom.
It is the worst neutral imprisoned minion. But it's also the best neutral imprisoned minion. So
okay.
I don't think it's good. I think there are. I don't dislike the effect. I just think in that 2 slot or turn 2 to turn 4 slot, there are better cards that do the job better than the imprisoned Vile Fiend.
Okay.
I mean, it does have the advantage, unlike a lot of other imprisoned minions, to do something right when it comes out. They all have something they do, but this one can attack, where a lot of them can't attack. They just have an effect.
Yeah. All right. Well, that finishes our card review for Ashes of Outland. We have talked about every single card in the set over the last 3-ish days. You guys got to join us for our neutral review. As we said back at the top of the show, our class card reviews are currently available right now for all of our patrons, and we will make those available for everybody, but it won't be until probably further down the road, maybe next month, when those become available for everybody else. Yeah. But if you are a patron or you want to see our class card reviews, head on over to patreon.com/HeroPower, and you can get access to those right now.
There is one more card I wanted to mention. It's not part of the set neutral cards, and I didn't make a slide. I apologize. I just thought of it just now. Is Illidan Stormrage's card has been changed. It is now Xavius, and the stats and everything are identical to what it was, except the minions that it summoned, the 2/1 minions it summons, are demons instead of elementals.
Okay.
If you owned Illidan Stormrage, you automatically get the card, but it has demon synergies now since it really had no synergies before.
Interesting. That's got me wondering about it. I'm actually logging in right now to check it out because I'm pretty sure I owned Illidan.
Yeah, it's a classic card. So if you did own Illidan, they basically just changed it. There's no dust refund or anything like that because it technically is a lateral move. But if you put any value in the minions it summons, it's actually a buff.
Yeah, so there he is, Xavius, 6-mana 7/5 demon. After you play a card, summon a 2/1 satyr.
Yeah, and those are demons. Where it was before, it summoned 2/1 elementals, which they were supposed to be like Fel elementals back when they were using Fel as a elemental energy back when the Hearthstone just started. But obviously the game has evolved, and they didn't want to water down the flavor of Illidan with a bad card.
Right.
And Xavius is still bad because Illidan was bad, but it might be better now that those are demons.
Right. They may have a little more synergy now, so
you might put them in Demon Hunter.
There you go. All right, guys. I believe that's gonna do it for us. If you have any questions or comments about the show, or if you have any questions about card interactions within Ashes of Outland, please feel free to send those questions to us. You can email them to us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com, or you can send those directly to us on Twitter, as Zerotio mentioned earlier in the show, at heropower_cast. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. And as we have alluded to, if you are interested in our class card reviews or just joining our patron-only Discord, you can find all that information over at patreon.com/heropower. And until next week,
don't forget to use your hero power.